Hi there, it's John from Commercial Real Estate Online. Welcome to the program. This is part 2 of my market share video. I created the market share video series because this is a changing property market and there's lots of opportunity out there. The cycle is resetting itself for the next 5 or 6 years. All the more reason for you to be deeply involved with people, properties and situations. So in this second part of the slides, I'll go further into creating market share for yourself. And I hope you like the ideas. They are all there to help you with your business, your real estate business, wherever it is around the world. And the audience for this program is very large in many different countries. So make sure you subscribe while you're here. So let's get into the program and I'll take you into these slides with my comments to help you in commercial real estate in your location. Let's get this going. So creating market share, as I said to you, this property market is very different. It's the beginning of the cycle. It's radically different than the last couple of years, which the last couple of years have arguably been the best markets for some time, but they don't stay there forever. What happens is there's a reset, and that's what's going on now. So this reset is underway, and you can be part of the reset because it's a strong resetting market for the next 4 or 5 years. Get into it, do something with it, grow your market share. That's what the slides are for. Let's go into that. So interacting with businesses today. I'm going to give you some ideas about the different sorts of opportunity that are out there. Now, businesses, local businesses in your location. I would encourage you to dig into the businesses locally because some will own the properties that they are in, others will lease. It doesn't matter what they do. They need property help from time to time. So get to know the businesses. They could be tenants or they could be owners. And if they are owners, they could be thinking about repositioning, expanding, relocating, contracting. You just don't know. And you're not going to know until you connect with them. So understand their offering, that is whatever they do within their business, within its location. Look at the need for contraction, expansion, or relocation, because that's where they need an agent and they haven't got the time to do it themselves, so you can help them with that. Taking that a bit further, know the lease expiry dates and the property details. So if the business owner is leasing the premises, ask them about the expiry, because you might be able to help them at the future time when it comes to another premises, or even from the negotiation perspective with the landlord for that particular lease, which means you could be a tenant's agent. And of course you can get commission from that sort of thing. So going further, gather information about the decision makers in every business and the business demographics in that location. I mean the precinct and then the businesses within that. And it might be 2 or 3 large buildings, maybe office buildings, I don't know. But look at the directory, find out the tenants that are in there, get to know the businesses, their business type, the decision makers in each case. So the advantages of commercial real estate today. As I've said to you, it's a new changing business cycle. And commercial real estate deals are driven from business and investment communities. So there's 2 groups of people there. You've got the business owners, I've just told you about those, and then you've got the investors. They are there as well. That's why you work with both groups. In this cycle, particularly so, there's going to be change within those groups with their properties that they are occupying and working with. So avoid emotional dynamics, the emotional dynamics you get with residential real estate. In residential, it's all about families, mums and dads, and what they're doing with perhaps their only asset. In commercial real estate, it's different. Not so much emotion, it's based on logic, opportunity, challenge and change. So the emotion isn't there. As long as you can work with the opportunity, the challenge or the change with your client or prospect, it's hard for them to avoid moving to the next opportunity of change. So looking at that, focus on higher quality prospects for better earnings. Now, what I would say there is that when you focus on quality, you actually get better business. So quality means, to me, better property listings, better people, better business owners, quality all round. When you focus on quality, the deals are much easier because the people that you're working with, they know that they need qualified help and they're prepared to pay for it. So don't be afraid to work as a tenant's agent, a buyer's agent, a seller's agent, or a landlord's agent. Don't be afraid to work with all of those groups. Just make sure you've got yourself covered as an appointment to act with a reasonable commission. Now, assist businesses with property needs, disposal, occupancy or relocation. That's what I was saying earlier. So if you're looking for business right now and you haven't got maybe many people in your database, or maybe you want to refresh your database, just get out there and talk to the business community. And where do you get that? Yellow pages online for your town or city. Just segment that database and go for it. Ring the businesses, ring the business owners, drill down. So adopt a survey approach. So when you're making those calls to the businesses, it's a survey approach. Regularly send surveys to businesses to identify property needs or pressures. You can send that by email if you like. Or you can talk to them about it. That works as well. I'm a big fanatic, if you like, about talking to people. And in fact, I would always recommend that you build your business by talking to people. The conversations always lead you somewhere. Maybe it leads you to nowhere, I get that, but good conversations, professionally approached, will generally leave you with a contact, an opportunity, market information, some sort of intelligence, and you can work with that. Let's go further. Follow up everything that you send out. If it's a survey, follow it up with a telephone contact and particularly meetings. So if you send out your survey to the business owner regards what they're doing with the lease or their ownership or their property, follow up that with a telephone call and then try for a meeting. Now, the meeting is useful because then they start to see you, recognize you, see your information, your relevance to them, and they start to trust you for what's going on in the market. And now use mail for a larger survey response. Now, you can do a broad brush, what I call mail dump, to all the businesses in a suburb, precinct, whatever. There's a cost to that. I get that. I'm not against doing that. I'm just a big fan of following things up. So if you do a mail dump to several hundred businesses, it's very difficult to follow them up. So my preference is to send out 5 surveys a day on the email to the business owners. And you'll get that information by calling the reception desk or something like that. And then following it up. That's my approach. I'm not a big fan of doing a mail dump because you won't be able to follow it up. Now, combine the survey approach with one-on-one contact. So the whole logic there is survey, telephone call, one-on-one conversation, meeting. When you create conversations and create meetings and discussions, market intelligence, it all goes into your database. Isn't that good? And the database, of course, is the foundation of where you're going, what you're doing, what you're seeing, what you're thinking, and your clients with what they're doing. And if you have a good database and you work it every day, one comment, I'm a big fan of working databases in 2 blocks of 2 hours. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. That produces a massive amount of business. There's things to do, things to learn, dialogues to learn. You're going to practice that. I would encourage you to practice. So, collating property information. Now, I put this in here because there's always a challenge in getting the ownership detail of who owns a property. Now, it can take you days, months, or some time, maybe many months, to get the owner of that particular property because they could be hidden behind a company structure and they may not want to be found. However, when you start the process, and what do I recommend there? I recommend you go into your territory or patch, take photos of all of the properties, make your notes on a standard form, and in our courses we have standard forms for that. The hard copy notes are really good because you just fill them out as you're standing and looking at the property. The photo I would put into Google Keep because that is then collated within the property classes, office, industrial, retail, land, just collated with a tag so that you can find the properties in Google Keep and look at the photo. Now, the piece of paper that you filled out can be checked, researched, referred. And when you get all that detail right, you can put it into the Google Keep note, and that becomes the basis of your research. So what you're doing there is organising gathered information into searchable databases. And Google Keep, if you like, becomes a searchable database for you of research. It doesn't become your actual database for calls. It becomes a database for research. Now, include property size, ownership, rent, prices, and business type or business types. It could be that there's multiple businesses within the one property, and that's good. It does mean that you've got to dig down into each particular business. Now, transpose standard form details into the database each day. What I'm saying there is that when you make lots of calls, please do that. And as I mentioned a little while ago, I said to you, 2 blocks of 2 hours. When you make the calls, don't hang too much on entering into the database there and then because it's going to slow you down. Again, in my courses, what I do is I create a standard form and I give that out through the courses where you enter things down on a standard form. So no matter what the person says to you, with a pencil and the small form in front of you, you can put down all the notes from the conversation. And all you do is you take that form and put it over there on a folder, a bulldog clip or something like that. So at the end of the day, you can deal with it. So that process prevents you from slowing down your calls. And that's how you actually get 40 or 50 calls done in every 2 hours. Massive, isn't it? Massive opportunity. So maintain accurate information for future deals and opportunities. That's where the Google Keep works very well. With your photograph that you put in there from your phone, and then your notes that you put in there from your notes that you made passing by the property. So that accurate information can then be tied to your database, which is in another type of database program, and then you start to bring things together. And when you do that, that's where the deals are. Going further, database information. Now, I've spoken a bit about this already. CRM is customer relationship management as a tool. You need something to do that with. So the idea is that when you have a conversation with someone, you're capturing the information on the standard form that I've spoken about. And then that form is entered into the database later on. But that CRM tool becomes an opportunity. And if you have plenty of segments within your database, drop-down menus for price, location, rent, property type, property preferences, that sort of thing, that database becomes very searchable. And then you can find people every time you have an opportunity come up. And that's where you make direct telephone calls to the right people. Please consider that, because what I've told you there works very well. You might say, well, hey, John, that's a lot of organisation. Of course it is. But I've only told you 2 things. I've said the CRM tool, which is a database, has to give you searchable facilities. And then I've said the research of the property tool is going to be Google Keep or something like that. And if you're a person that loves the iPhone and everything that goes with it, then I guess you'll find a note-taking system within the iPhone to do that with. Now, avoid using basic versions of software for professional accuracy. So the CRM program that you choose should be backed up in the cloud. It should be easy to use. It should have all the drop-down menus that you need to find people. You're finding people when you find listings, and then you call people direct. Now, property farming and territory optimization are essential daily activities. That says that you're calling people every day in the database, and then you are out there with your phone taking photos and looking at properties. That's the logic. So easy to do. Database information, the things that you gather support growth, control, and necessary deals. Please consider that. It's very, very important for your progress over time. Now, consistent growth and control in the market. Every salesperson should dedicate daily time to property farming. Dedicate daily time. I've said to you earlier that I'm a great fan of 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. It's surprising what happens when you do it twice. You could say to me, well, John, I'm going to do 4 hours in the morning. Well, that's not as effective as doing 2 hours plus 2 hours, splitting it across the day. So achieve consistent growth through effective market control. Now, market control becomes your momentum process. You are controlling your market. You are talking to people, researching properties, putting it together, keeping your notes. Please take on board the system that I've explained here. Adopt a 3 or 4 hour process each day for farming activities. There's your 4 hour process. Split it into 2 blocks of 2 hours. So simple. Build a solid foundation of future deals and opportunities from that. It's a fact that when you talk to people and then keep talking to them, you'll find deals, listings, activities to get involved with. Very simple. Organised, sure. And that's where the best agents, the top agents, are extremely organised. So, in conclusion, create market share. Creating the market share requires strategic and consistent efforts. That is at your level, that is agent level. Just to recap on that, requires strategic and consistent efforts. You might need to go through these slides again and just pick up on what I've said so you don't forget what I've said and you build your systems around that. Be diligent, logical, and dedicated in managing your territory. That's where you break up your territory. If it's very big, break it up into blocks of, say, a few hundred properties, of precincts. So you work on each precinct and then you move on to the next. And over a period of 1 year or 2 years, your precinct becomes your control base, and that's where you find the opportunity. Territory optimization is the key to success in commercial real estate. Optimization. How do you optimize the territory? People, properties, conversations, meetings. So easy. It's easy. Just get used to the fun of connecting with new people. Now, this is all about adapting to the changing needs of businesses and the investment communities. Because I did say to you earlier, there's 2 groups of people that we work with, business owners and investors. So when you connect with both of them consistently each day, and maybe you do 2 hours with investors and 2 hours with business owners each day, great strategy. When you do that, and the changing property market, you'll find business pretty quickly. That's how it works. So, I've taken you through a number of things in these slides. Important things. I want you to consider what I've said here and how you can bring that into your real estate business. This is a changing property cycle. It is a great opportunity now and into the future. Build your systems around what I've said here, and of course you'll find the business that you need. And isn't it all about listings? Remember the other word I said here? Quality. Quality. That's it for today. Please subscribe whilst you're here, because I'll be sharing another group of slides in another couple of days that can help you as well. So this is John Hyman from Commercial Real Estate Online. The website for us is commercial-realestate-training.com. I'll see you there. Visit there and get the other resources that we share free each day. Catch you soon.